Hello, everybody. Welcome to our feelings class. I am super excited to share this information with all of you. I know that the last couple of years have been undoubtedly difficult and mentally draining for all of us. And the good news is that we have tools at our fingertips that can help us, like help us now. So they can help us with our emotions and forgiveness and just releasing things that no longer serve us. So tonight we are going to talk about specifically these 5 oils that come in the feelings kit. People who have used this protocol have noticed that they may pay attention better to details. They might communicate at a more solution-oriented way with others. And they have forgiven people who have hurt them, but more importantly, they report that they've forgiven themselves, which I think is a really big deal, right? They also have reported an increase in enthusiasm, more follow through with projects, increased positivity, better ability to handle stressful situations. They have a calmer demeanor. They report less anxiousness and sadness and anger. And just some people just say they feel better. They don't know why and they can't put their finger on it, but they just makes them feel more grounded and solid. Okay, so before we dive in, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Susan Richardson, and I have been using Young Living essential oils for 11 years. This is a photo of me just before I started using oils. And I was not well when I started oils. I am an autism mom, and I was super stressed and exhausted, which really took a toll on my life. And frankly, I was a hot mess. I can still be a hot mess some days, but I'm an organized hot mess now. But literally within an hour of using our first oil, I felt a shift, and it was truly an amazing pivotal moment in my own health journey. And this picture is of me just a couple weeks ago. These are 2 pictures that are 11 years apart, and I feel better now than I did, a couple decades ago. And when I first started Young Living, I never expected that, 1, the products would work, or 2, that I would be sharing information like I do now. And when you find something this powerful, you really just can't help but to share. And that's how you guys all ended up with this video in your hand, right? Somebody had, they used the oils, they had a response, and they thought of you. So go back to the person who invited you to watch this video and thank them for sharing this information. Prior to staying home with my girls, I was actually a mental health counselor. So this information is actually really dear to my heart. My passion has always been to help people make solid changes and improvements in their lives and not just mask symptoms. So that is why that person invited you. They knew something was going on in your life where you could benefit from this information. So tonight, I'm going to share the popular blends that come in the feelings kit, which can help us with various emotions, right? I will also share different techniques, using these oils a little bit more effective and easy for everybody. So you can use them, your children, your grandchildren, the elderly. These are really safe oils for everybody to dip their toes into. So if you're new to the world of essential oils, your world is about to be rocked. I'm just telling you. And as we go through this kit tonight, I would like you just to jot down a few notes. Don't take crazy notes. You got the video, so you can just go back and rewatch it. But I'm really going to invite you to go back to the person who shared it with you and have a conversation. If something resonates with you, talk to the person who gave you this video so they can lock arms with you and just help you go through this whole process, okay? So tonight we're going to start talking about the limbic system, because I don't think you can talk about emotions without really talking about the limbic system, which is a system of nerves and networks in the brain that controls your basic emotions and your drives. It's the area in your brain, it's called the emotional brain, okay? So it supports 5 major functions. It controls your emotions and your behavior, also motivation, your long-term memory, and your sense of smell. So if any of those are things that you are needing some help with, I'm super glad you're here, and we are going to dive in, and we are going to give you a little bit of the science behind why the essential oils do what they do. They can actually tap directly into the limbic system to stimulate more emotions and more memories. And as we inhale the oils and the tiny little molecules, they enter the nasal cavity, okay? And they pass the olfactory bulb. So when they do this, this is intense. Within 1/10 of a millisecond, the constituents of that oil can actually hit the center of your brain. That means that it has crossed the blood-brain barrier, which is unheard of, right? Our blood-brain barrier is what protects our brain from toxins and things that could harm it. And somehow, by the grace of God, these oils were created in nature where they can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and influence the emotional brain, which is really, as an autism mom, that was really important to me. It also oxygenates the glands in the brain and helps the nervous system communicate with the rest of the body. So this is why we can get some of the results we get. The amygdala is part of that emotional brain, and this is actually the seat of our emotions. So smell is the fastest way to affect our emotions. It's the fastest way to affect the amygdala. So diffusing is actually the fastest way to influence behavior. So if you want to amplify a behavior, or if you want to change a behavior, the fastest way is going to be through smell. So you can see in this picture that there is a diffuser in the background. You just simply add water to it and some of your favorite oils and diffuse it into the air, and you and anybody in the vicinity will get the benefits from it. So we will talk a lot about diffusing these oils tonight, okay? This means that you can also use essential oils to help you recall memories and work through things, right? We also can use them to release. I believe that our memories can be stored in our body at a cellular level, and the science shows that we can release those memories as well that are stored in our body, allowing you to process it and move past it, okay? We all regularly come into contact with reactions to smell. So think about this. If you walk into your house and you smell, it's dinner time, and you smell dinner cooking, your favorite meal, and your emotions are triggered immediately. And it may bring back a fond memory of when you had that meal and you felt joy, right? The aroma of that meal can trigger those emotions, right? Or think about, like, I remember getting off the school bus when I was a little kid, and I could literally smell my mom canning tomatoes at the top of the street, right? And I would run down because I knew she was canning that day. So today, when I smell the canning tomatoes, it brings me back to those memories of my mom cooking in the kitchen. So other things that, you know, like cologne of your grandfather might trigger some emotions based on your relationship. And that could be emotions like love and joy. But if it was a bad relationship, or maybe he passed away, it could bring up some sadness or maybe even some anger. So it can trigger some deeper emotions as well. So we can use the essential oils to help bring up our emotions and deal with them and help us get through them as well. As a former art therapist. Before I was a mom, I was an art therapist. We used a lot of crayons in our therapy because we knew that when my clients were creating with crayons, they could smell those crayons, and those crayons would bring up emotions and feelings and memories from their past, and we can work through them a little bit faster. So fast forward to today, we have these essential oils at our fingertips, and this can help us to process some of the emotions that we've been going through the last couple of years, or just emotions that we've dealt with or not dealt with in our lifetime, right? So some of the beautiful things about our oils are that the blends will actually tell you exactly what they do. So one of the blends that we're going to talk about tonight is Harmony. And when we use pure essential oils, we can use these scents to uplift us, but I want to pause here because I'm saying pure essential oils. So don't take the information that we're sharing tonight and just go get any oils, okay? Because not all essential oils are created equally. So by pure oils, what I mean is that at Young Living, we take pride in the way we farm and the way that we distill and the way that we get our oils to you and to I and to everybody who needs them, right? And I took this picture at one of their farms. I believe it was the farm in Utah this past September, and in the greenhouse. And I absolutely love being on their farms because that's where you get to see the heart and soul of Young Living and how these oils are genuinely created for a higher purpose, right? We're not adulterating them. We're not adding chemicals to them to make them go farther. We're not using heat to destroy the beneficial molecules during distillation, and we're not even using chemicals or pesticides on our farming practices. So when we get essential oils, we can be guaranteed that we are getting the safest ones on the market. So if you want more information about that, please go back to the person who gave you this video again and ask them. You can send me a message. I'd be happy to send you more information on that process, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into some of the blends. So Harmony is in this kit, and we all want harmony in all areas of our life. And when we're pushing really hard in one area, sometimes other areas in our lives will actually suffer. So we can simply put a drop of Harmony in our hand, rub your palms together, and just inhale the blend slowly. And we can also then apply a little bit to our solar plexus. That is just beneath your sternum and above your belly button, okay? And when we do this, we can actually say some powerful affirmations. I really like affirmations. And do the affirmations change things? Sometimes people say yes and other people say no. For me, it helps my mindset, right? So if I am using Harmony and I say, I am one with all, or my heart is open to give and receive love, I love that one, right? Or I can express myself completely. When I say those words, it helps me get in that mindset, and it helps me bring balance back to my whole body, okay? Which is really ultimately the goal, right? Harmony is also the only essential oil that we have that has been claimed that it can balance your entire body. So it doesn't matter what you got on going on or what you feel imbalanced in your life. This oil can give you some TLC and really help you. This oil makes me feel instantly centered, calm, and just really at peace. Okay, so I know many of us have not felt harmony in the past 2 or 3 years, right? As we were locked down and facing a pandemic and facing the way that we parented and taught our kids and the way that we worked from home and got our groceries, all the things, right? But not only can we be prone to the angst that had come up, but our kids are exposed to that as well. So Harmony is actually a great oil to diffuse in our homes for our families and also in our offices at work as we transition back into the workforce. So it can help bring harmony to the atmosphere of everybody who is exposed and inhaling it. This is also great to help diffuse around our spouse so we can have a sense of peace and harmony between the two of us, right? And we can also diffuse another blend called forgiveness. And I love this oil because in our world and in all the relationships that we have, you know, things happen. And having forgiveness is not always easy to do. And there are a lot of times we need to forgive others to be able to move on. And there's a lot of times we need to be able to forgive ourselves for things that we have done too. And one of the things I wanted to share is sometimes it's not even about forgiving, but being in the place where the circumstances no longer affect us, right? And just forgiving the situation and just kind of just holding the space for that. So when we get bothered by other people's energies and their actions towards us or towards things, we can get filled with anger and hate and resentment and just experience emotional pain. I know we all have had that. So one of the useful techniques that I have found is just breathing in the forgiveness essential oils. So we would just stop what I'm doing when I'm feeling irritated and slowly breathe in my nose and out my mouth. And then when I add the oils to it, it just seems to amplify that whole process. So I'll put the oil in my hand, I'll rub my hands together and kind of cup it over my mouth and my nose and just take a really deep breath in my nose and then out my mouth. And then just repeat that a couple more times until you feel yourself start to center, right? Because when we hold hurt, pain, resentment, anger, all those things, it can harm us far more than it can harm the person who offended us, right? So we need to let go of that. I believe that our emotions are deeply connected to our health and our wellness. And when we have disrupted emotions that that can affect the way that our body responds to illness. So we want to make sure our emotions are balanced so we have a healthy body. Okay. So one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to take your release and you can put it in your hand and rub your hands together. And then you're going to apply it over your navel, over your belly button. And this is intended to let go of some negative emotions too. So we hold our emotions in certain energy points in our body. So you can gently just rub that forgiveness there. You can quietly think about the circumstance that you're trying to forgive. You can think about how you're trying to forgive yourself or even that other person and just hold the space for yourself in silence for maybe 5 minutes while you're breathing in the fragrance of the oil and just releasing whatever doesn't serve you anymore and just letting it go. Okay. One of the affirmations that I like is I learn from all of life's experiences. And when that happens, then we can begin to release some of those emotions, okay? And we can also nurture our inner child as well. So another affirmation that I like is, who am I? And I know that throughout your life, you've asked this question, right? Like when you're transitioning from being a teenager to an adult or graduating from college and searching for a job, you know, like transitioning in and out of relationships, even like through all the moments that we had during the pandemic, a lot of times I saw on social media people asking this big question, like, who am I and why am I here? Like, what is the purpose of all this, right? We started to reassess the things that were going on in our life and started to getting rid of some of the things that no longer served us and started to take into consideration spending more time with our families and eating more mindfully and just being centered, right? Well, inner child sweet fragrance is one of the ones that we can use to connect us with our own identity and explore this a little bit more. Okay, so if you feel stuck in a career or in a relationship or just in life in general, you can use this oil to kind of help you explore that. And then one of the things I love to do with that is use a journal. So as you are journaling, you can start to process some of those things that come up. So another way that you can use this oil is just putting it in your diffuser while you're doing this. And you can also just swipe a little bit underneath your nose, so you're breathing it in while you journal. Now, one of the other ways that Gary Young taught us to use this oil was to place a drop of inner child on the pad of your thumb, put your thumb in your mouth and press the thumb up against the roof of your mouth. And what this does is it opens up those cranial sutures and it stimulates the pineal, the pituitary, and other glands in the brain, which, remember, we talked about the emotional brain earlier and the limbic system, right? This is working with all of that again, okay? And then you can try that and let the person who gave you the video know how that works for you and what comes up for you. You can journal it, and you can also just keep your journal private, because sometimes we don't want to let other people know, and they don't need to know. You can actually burn your journal when you're done, because getting it out is just going to get it out, and then it's going to open up space to pour in more joy and contentment in your life. Okay, so let's move on to present time. Present time is really an oil to help you to focus on the here and now. And this is helping us get beyond the past, and so that we can move towards the future. But it's also not perseverating on the future and what's going to happen in the future, right? It's about being present right now. And it's about helping us just bring ourselves into this moment. And we've heard it so many times how important this is, right? We've got to be in the present time. But in 2022, our lives just aren't easy. And sometimes it's hard for us to be present right now. We're thinking about the things that have happened over the last couple of years. I know we have dealt with grief and people who have passed. We've dealt with grief of the way that our lives have been. We had struggles with the girls being home with online learning and not having those social supports that they had. And, you know, we also can get so stuck in anxiety and stress and unhappiness just being our new norm, right? And what we don't even realize is sometimes we get sucked into the past and the future, and we get worn out and we start feeling out of touch with ourselves. So present time is really about just bringing us back into this now moment. And I love the aroma of this one. It smells like lilacs to me. It's very floral. So one of the ways that I love to use this oil is I will take a little bit and put it on my ears. And there's a lot of reflex points on your ears, and I don't know why or how, but it just makes me feel so good when I do that. And it gives me a little bit more feeling more centered and just a little bit more energy. We can also pair present time with meditation, which is really powerful. Meditation is the practice of turning inward and bringing our awareness to what is happening in the moment. So one of the things I like to say while I'm doing that is I see clearly in this moment, right? And I'm here and I'm now. And guide your breath and become more aware of your body, and just have your thoughts just come to the here and the now and just see what comes up for you. You can also use present time when you're hanging out with your family. So often in this world that we live in now, we are so connected to social media and our phones and our televisions and all the things that are happening, right? So you can easily use this oil to set your phone down so you can be more present and in the moment with the people who really matter, the people who are around you. When you're with your family, or when you're out to dinner with your friends, or when you are with your colleagues, don't be distracted so much by your phones and social media and all the things that are happening. And if you do have a hard time with that, use a little bit of your present time to help pull you back in and give you the courage to put your phones down so that we can stay present in the situation and to the people who are around us. Okay. And so while we're working through these oils and all of these emotions and things that are coming, we also want to release them. Okay. Release is a blend that is really relaxing, and it helps facilitating the ability to release anger and frustration. And I don't know anyone who doesn't have those emotions. We're human. We all experience those things. And this blend helps to promote harmony and balance when diffused. So we can diffuse it. I would recommend going really slow with this oil if it's new to you. Just one drop in the diffuser, or just like half a drop over your top of your liver. Just go really gentle and slow. I want to talk about teenagers just for a minute, because I know we talked about like the pandemic, and these times have been really hard on us, and watching my kids go through things has been really hard on me. But I also know that the pandemic has impacted this generation of kids and young adults like nothing that they've experienced so far. And we want to be able to help them so it doesn't get locked in their cellular memory. And they're going on with all the other teenage and young adult angst that they have, and all the changes that are going on, and all the transitions that they're going through. But you throw all these other things at them, and I think that we're going to see long-term effects of this. So we are so fortunate for having this blend and these oils to help us help our kiddos get through these moments. And I would recommend too, if you have a family that you know, or a friend that you know, and their kid is having a difficult time, you don't have to do the Young Living business to be able to share these powerful oils. So take a moment just to let them know that this is available to them. And if you need help doing that, go back to the sponsor or the person who invited you and let them help you share with those families, because they need oils as well, right? And when we're communicating with our teens and our kids, we need to be doing this without judgment. Our kids can be affected in so many ways, and we want to be able to unconditionally support them and take our judgment away and just hold the space for them. What they're going through is what they're going through, and it's real for them. It may not resonate with us, and we might want to blow it off, but they're going through it, and just holding the space for them and listening authentically will go a long way with them. Okay. We also want to give them tools to be able to release these unwanted emotions. I think that's really important. And we want our kids to have healthy coping mechanisms, so we can work with these oils and use active listening. And we can even teach them a little bit of movement too, because a movement is a form of coping. Like, so intense workout can help us to release different emotions. I know that running on the treadmill or lifting helps me. So why wouldn't it help our children as well? So we can find high intensity fitness for them, like running and sports, and even like boxing, right? To help them release stressors and frustration, while showing them also that having slow, intentional movement, like maybe yoga or stretching, can help them also to release their emotions and their anxiety, and cultivating just a sense of peace. So we need to teach our kids these, and we also need to be doing them ourselves, right? We need to be learning how to work with our bodies to release the emotions that we have. And I just think that this is such a powerful, empowering thing that we can give to our youth. So when we are diffusing release, it can be a tool that can be effective, and it can help us to release and process emotions such as anger, resentment, guilt, all the things that we have going on. And we can also release some grief. And I know a lot of people have been experiencing a lot of these emotions over the last couple of years. So again, these oils can really help us to let go of that. The last oil that I want to talk about tonight is, well, here's my my affirmation for this one. I let go with grace and ease. So just letting it go easily, right? But then we come into valor, and valor is about having courage and strength and stamina, right? And exhaling fear. So one of the things that we can do is we can inhale, breathe in the aroma of valor, and exhale the fear, and just consciously just imagine that fear exiting our body. And when we can use the valor, it just becomes this easy, effective way to inhale that courage and exhale that fear and move us into a place of being able to be strong. And one of the things that you can say is, I come from strength. Okay. And the opposite of courage is inertia. And when we can say we come from strength, and we can use our oil and ground us, we can put it on the bottoms of our feet, we can put it on our wrist and the back of our neck, and just anywhere that makes you feel grounded, that then we can start to move past that inertia into a place of courage and being able to face our emotions in our day and circumstances in our lives, and be able to do it with confidence and courage. Okay. These oils all come in a kit. It's called the Feelings Kit. So you get all 6 of these. You get release, present time, inner child, valor, harmony, and forgiveness. They work synergistically together, but you could also just get them one at a time. But I like them as a kit. My team uses them in a 30-day challenge. And just simply what I do in that case, because I went over a lot of information, here's the simple way to use them. You can put valor on the bottoms of your feet and your wrists, then apply harmony over your solar plexus, then use forgiveness on your belly button over your navel clockwise, then present time on your ears and behind your ears. Don't put it in your ears, just around them. And then you can put some release over your liver, inner child under your nose, and then end the protocol again back with valor on the bottoms of your feet and your wrists again to complete it. So I would set aside like 5 or 10 minutes so you can do this with purpose and intent and reverently, and not just slapping them on and going, but actually sitting down and thinking about the emotions and things that are coming up, or the things that you want to release that no longer serve you. My recommendation is to do it twice a day for 30 days to see how your life and the world and your emotions can be altered. Okay. So again, you can buy these oils individually. So like you can just go and buy a bottle of Valor if that's the one that spoke to you, or you can purchase this as a whole kit. And as you purchase it as a kit, you not only qualify for our wholesale pricing, which saves you $60 off of the whole kit, but it also unlocks that discount for anything that you buy over the next year, which is super, super awesome, right? Young Living also has a subscription program where when you buy products on their subscription, they give you free product points to go shopping for free. So if you were to put this on your first subscription, you would get around $20 back to buy something else. So you could also, depending on if you've been in the company longer and using their products, you could get up to $50 back on this kit. So you could buy more things that you need. So maybe you could get more oils, or you could get your Savvy Minerals powder mineral makeup, right? Or green cleaning or supplements, sunscreen, bug repellent, whatever you're buying for your family, you can use those points then to buy them for free. We have over 600 items to choose from. So many people just swap out a lot of the products that they're already using for the ones from Young Living that are safe and effective, okay? So I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this video and learn more about supporting your emotions with essential oils. I truly, truly believe that these oils need to be in everybody's home, starting with yours and mine. And again, if you are not a Young Living customer, get back to the person who invited you to this video, and they can help guide you and help you. If you are a member of Young Living, I would highly recommend looking at that subscription program, because it's the best deal, and it's the best way to get these products into your home. Thank you so much, and thank you.